Hello and welcome to another episode of Nothing Definitive. I am Sam Carlson, and today I want to talk about why winning the lottery would suck, especially if you're interested in becoming an intellectual or you're on the path to enlightenment. So I want to start this with setting up an example. So let's assume that you've just recently graduated from college. You're ambitious and motivated. You're going to get a job. You're going to work your way up. You're going to try and make lots of money and lead a successful life in that traditional kind of sense. Um, Along the way, this kind of a person is going to learn a lot of information. I mean, in college, you got a lot of textbook style learning. And then when you graduated and you went and got a job, you started learning a lot of practical information. You started gaining a lot of very subtle experiences. If you look at anyone who does something specific, you gain a lot of like subtle experiences, things that are like that you can't just really teach someone. You just kind of learn them through observation and interpreting data and stuff like that. That's really valuable. I mean, someone who's spent a lot of time becoming an expert in something is an expert not only because they know lots of information, but they just have like intuitive experience. They can recognize patterns and they can make inferences about stuff. So anyway, this person, this college student, along the way throughout his life, he's going to be learning a lot of valuable data. And this is kind of like this, like a step-by-step sort of a situation. You know, you just continually taking the things that you knew in the past and adding some more and relearning things and reinterpreting data and just getting a really good sense of whatever it is that you're trying to pursue. And when you become an expert in a field, they call that domain knowledge, and that's when you're highly knowledgeable about a specific, industry or niche or whatever. Um, okay, so that is really, really good. That's really valuable and awesome. Now, now let's talk about winning the lottery. Winning the lottery would suck because you skip all of that useful information. You basically go from some normal person with not very much information to someone who is really rich but still doesn't have that information. You basically got to success without learning anything along the way. That and that's such a like I remember reading somewhere or like someone told me or I've heard it like from news or something. Someone was saying like people who win the lottery who win like under 10 million or something, like a really high percentage of those people end up losing it. And that's because they don't have any like valuable financial experience. If pretty much every single person out there who goes through life and earns a lot of money is going to have a lot of like personal financial skills because they had to at the very early stages of like making money, especially if you start your own company or something. You have to learn all that probably on your own because you can't hire a team to work for you. um, People who are at the top of a company, like the reason we hire employees, like people hire employees, is because they know what they want, they know what they need, and they no longer need to like, I don't need to do accounting anymore. I know it and I can just hire someone because I know how it works and I know how to find that person and tell them what to do and all that good stuff. Um, but the person who wins the lottery, they're just thrust into that new world with like nothing. It would be like if that college student got his entry level position at a company, right? And he just happened randomly to bump into one of the new fresh CEOs who's also really young and inexperienced. And that fresh CEO talks to him and he's like, "Dude, you're a really cool guy. I need people like you on my team. I want you to work this position that I'm just creating," or something like that. And naively, the CEO hires this guy. To a position where he has to manage other people and has a lot of experience, but he doesn't decline it because the CEO is also offering him like this really nice six-figure salary or something, right? That would be really stupid because that entry level college student has no idea what he's doing. He's going to get to that job and be like, "Uh-oh, what do you mean I manage other people? I don't even know what I'm doing. How am I supposed to tell other people what to do?" That's kind of like what it's like if you just suddenly won the lottery. All of a sudden you have all these new things that are coming at you and you don't know how to deal with them because you've never learned how to deal with it. So that's the first main problem. The second one applies to if you're interested in becoming an intellectual or more enlightened about life. And the reason I think it's really problematic to win the lottery as one of those people is because you will no longer have a good reason to push forward, to like grow as a person. You may think to yourself right now, like, oh, I would still keep learning. I wouldn't do that. That's not me. That's just lazy people. I really, really doubt it because you're going to think that and you might even do it for a little bit, but ultimately you don't have a reason anymore. You have so much money that it's like pointless. There's just no reason. There's no money is such a great motivator because basically money and like struggling to pay bills and rent and stuff. That's such a great motivator to for you to do something, to continue to better yourself. It really is. I mean, if you I listen to like Duncan Trussell podcasts and Joe Rogan's podcasts, and sometimes they'll bring on people that tell their life story, and they always start the same way. Oh, I was really broke. I got really sick of not being able to pay my bills and struggling to eat every week and stuff like that. And so I finally got fed up and I pushed forward. And I had this huge moment of personal growth. And I just, like, that struggle is why they suddenly realized their potential. And that's what led to their success. I mean, not just that, but that was like the door opening. If you suddenly won the lottery, that door will like never open because it doesn't need to. You don't have that really great motivator. I mean, don't get me wrong, there might be some people out there who are just internally motivated or they've already reached a stage where they're really motivated and they'll just do it anyway. But for the vast majority of us, we would just stagnate basically. We would win the lottery and we would basically be whoever we were at the moment we won the lottery. We'd probably pretty much stay that person forever. We might change a little bit because of the money, but I have a feeling that the changes that would happen would be very negative. It would be like you become maybe more greedy, or maybe you have people in your family or friends or something who are always badgering you for money, so you end up ruining those relationships or something. Had you earned money like through a nice path of like consistent learning and stuff like that, you would have like dealt with these kind of situations at a smaller micro level and then a macro level later when you already had the experience and know how to deal with them. So yeah, winning the lottery would be terrible. I'm telling you, it would not be good. It's so much better. It would be so much more rewarding in the end to earn your money legitimately, to earn it with an not only have money, but also this breadth of experience and life, all these cool things that would happen. I always thought, just think of yourself like down the road. Imagine you're sitting at this nice table with other rich people or really interesting people or something like that, and you're all laughing and talking and having wine and eating a great meal or something like that. And all of a sudden someone clangs their glass and asks you, how did you make your money? Tell us your interesting story. Bam! There's two paths right there. There's the one path where you earned it from nothing to everything, and you have these amazing stories along the way, and all these struggles that you went through to try and make it, and you had all these failures that in retrospect are funny or interesting or whatever. Or you have the other path, which is like super boring. It's like, yeah, I was a normal person, and then I just won the lottery, and now I'm rich. Like, how boring would that be? Develop a story. Have a narrative about your life. It would be so much more rewarding, I'm telling you. So that's why I think that winning the lottery would suck. Thank you very much for listening. Stay tuned for future episodes. I got a whole bunch of stuff lined up. Remember, these are just thoughts and stuff. So let me know if you have any feedback, if you think I'm totally wrong about something. I'd like to hear it. So thanks for listening.